How's it going, guys? It's me, the Double Talker, here today to talk about the next episodes of My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia, which is technically the same thing. But the reason, okay, so this episode, or this, like, one of the episodes I'm trying to talk about, right? So last time I talked about episodes 1 and 2 because, for one, I was kind of late on talking about this anime because I had some other stuff to do with school, and I still am. But I still want to cover this series, and you know, episodes 1 and 2, they were perfectly sort of, whatchamacallit, it's sort of linked and paired, because if I talk about episode 1, then you know, you have to wait for episode 2, but then if you talk about episode 1 and 2 together, because they're both, like, you know, technically parts that continue off the other, like, you know, I want to talk about what happened the whole episode, so that way, you know, episode 1 and 2 was a really good pair to start off with. So, like, you know, I didn't really want to wait for episode 2 to just talk about the whole first introduction, and that's why I wanted it. You know, it was perfect timing. So episode 3 and 4 technically did the same thing, where you have like the first episode, like episode 3, sort of, you know, introduce the arc and like the action that's going on in the episode, and then the next episode after that, episode 4, sort of completes it. It's like, oh, here's the conclusion of that part / arc thing, right? So the first episodes 3 and 4 cover the UA entrance exam thing for Deku, and how he, like, the exam tests, like the entrance exams to get into UA. And you know, in the first part, it's just like, okay, he completed his training, he got the power, he's there, he's trying to take the test, he's trying to, like, you know, get into the school. You have all the other contestants, you have the other students going in at the same time, and like, oh, he makes a fool out of himself, right? And then, like, here's the exam. You have to go into this Battle Mock City, fight these robots, you get points off them, and here are the 4 types of enemies. And you also saw, whatchamacallit, like, the glasses dude, I forget his name, and they used to like the girl, and that was it, right? I was like, oh man, that's really it. And then, like, I watched episode 4, it's like, okay, so now we actually get the whole gist of it in episode 4, so why not just talk about 1 and 2, and 3 and 4 at the same time, because they're both pairs. Episode 4, I gotta salute episode 4, because it made me, like, this scene here, it made me really emotional, and I was on the verge of crying. And I want to state that I don't really remember much about the beginning of Boku no Hero's manga, the beginning parts, because, like, you know, it's been a while, and I'm too used to, like, knowing what happens in the middle or in the farther parts of the manga, so I kind of forget that, oh wait, this thing did happen in the beginning of the manga. So, you know, in episode 1 and 2, I was like, oh shoot, like, he actually went in to go save Bakugo. It's like, oh yeah, that did happen, because I actually have to look back and check, like, oh, these things really did happen. These were, like, legit shots in the manga and whatnot, and they animated that scene. So yeah, I don't remember much of the beginning, but the anime is a good refresher to that. And, you know, in episode 4, towards the end, when he like, freaking Deku just one-punches that giant robot, right? And it's like, oh, that's pretty awesome, but you didn't get any points. And I'm just like, oh shoot, well, I know for a fact in the manga that, you know, he does get into the school. Oh, is that spoiler? Fudge! Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm talking about okay, guys, I'm sorry, because if I ruined anime for you, then I'm sorry. Well, no, in the episode he already gets in. Okay, that's, never mind, it's not a spoiler. So yeah, like, in the manga, I already knew that he gets in, right? But then, like, in the whole anime, like, it's telling us, oh, he failed, right? But then, like, I thought that All Might was gonna make an exception for him to get in, but then they gave him this message, and it's like, oh, you know, you barely passed your written exam, you didn't get any points on your physical exam, but you got hero points because you were a hero. I was like, oh shoot, that's so cool, and I totally forgot that sort of happened. Like I said, because I don't remember much of the beginning of the manga, because I'm too used to the part that's ongoing right now, right? And the anime, like I said, greatly reminds me what happens at the beginning of the manga, and that happens, and I was just so happy for Deku, and like, he was on the verge of crying too, and I was like, oh man, Deku is so emotional. It's like, you know, you were like the most heroic thing ever, like, you know, like, going into this, risk no points and just trying to save the girl, and she tried to give him points as well. Like, it was such an emotional scene. Like, I was on the verge of crying. And, like, you know, it just reminds you, like, this is a really good series. I really loved it. And, like, you know, in the end, Deku got into UA because he was a hero. Because he went in to go save that girl and fight the giant-ass robot, even though no one really had to. He just came in, he just wanted to save that girl, and that was it. That was so awesome and shit. And he just one-punched that thing. I like it because when this is the first time that Deku uses power, so that when he freaking one punched that robot, he destroyed it, but then his arm and legs were freaking broken and flabby as stuff. It reminds me of Deadpool, sort of, when he like just beats the shit out of it, and it's just like, ugh, it was like flabby. It's like, oh, it's broken, I can't do anything anymore, right? But that was, everything turned out alright, and it was so cool, like, just this whole episode. Like, I didn't really expect to cry, or like, you know, I was on the verge of crying because of how emotional and happy, like, Deku was. Just like, oh, you know, All Might speech was pretty legit, alright, I'll give it that. So anyways, guys, you know, that's about it for this 2 episodes, basically. Episode 5 and those 3, yeah, 5 and 6 probably will cover him getting into, the school, the classes, and just, like, a lot more introductory stuff, if I remember correctly from the manga. I can't remember a lot, so, I mean, for now, I really am enjoying the anime series. It brings a whole new thing to the manga series I've been reading and enjoying, because you have like soundtrack, you have voice, you have like a lot of like all these things, like a movie playing out to you. It's so cool. And you know, all the scenes that you saw in the manga are here in the anime. It's just really awesome. And you know, like I said, I almost cried in this scene here in episode 4. So anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like the video if you enjoyed episode 3 and mostly 4 of Boku no Hero Academia. I hope you guys, you know, sort of get why I'm doing this pair episode thing with 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4, because, you know, I don't really like to talk about like episode 1 and then have to wait till episode 2 to talk about it. We just want to talk about it in pairs, because if it doesn't do the pair thing, then that's fine. But then, you know, episode 3 sort of felt like lackluster if you didn't watch episode 4, so I want to cover both of them at the same time because they are the thing that completes each other. Yeah, but we can't have 48-minute long episodes. So anyways, guys, subscribe, because next week I just might cover episode 5, or 2 weeks from now I'll cover episode 5 and 6. Who knows how that works. And if you have any questions or comments, you know, on this episode, like, did you guys cry with me too, like, or were you on the verge of crying in this scene where, like, Deku gets his letter and talks, like, he has a speech from All Might? Tell me what you guys thought about the episode in the comment section below, or at my Twitter, at @TheDomeTaku, because that was some pretty emotional stuff there, right? I gotta admit, I was on the verge of crying. So anyways, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video on the Domotaku anime channel. So take care, guys, matane, and become Saikyo Hero.